Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm just going to be talking a little bit about anything and everything practically. That's not entirely true. If you've been to my channel and you've seen my channel before, you'll know that I basically, how do I dock this? I'll be talking about pretty much anything and everything. No top, well, I don't want to say no topic is off top taboo, but more so. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Whoops. More so, the fact is it's one of those things where. Ooh, okay. Well, we're seeing this going live now. As you see, this is all live and everything like that. So it is what it is how you expect it to be. But one of the things I was going to talk about basically is, well, essentially two things. The NFL draft is coming up, come time in June. Last time around this year in March, the Panthers made the trade for the number one pick with the Bears. Bears have that number one pick now. Question is, what are they going to do with that pick? Do they pick a potential Hall of Fame quarterback, or do they trade that draft pick for many more draft capital for this year and next year as well too, and wherever it may be, and have faith in Justin Fields, because it's possible Fields himself can be good enough. It's unknown. The other aspect is this. With the Giants, they have the number 6 pick. Should they trade up? It's hard to say because, what are they willing to give up? Because, quite honestly, I don't know if they have enough cap space. They're going to have to rework some cap space. They have to rebuild that offensive line, of course. That's the biggest thing. And then the defensive line, as well as their secondary, has to be reworked a little bit as well, too, because we saw that there are some holes in there as well, too. But more so the offensive line. And the other factor is do they go for, a wide receiver like Harrison, Marvin Harrison Jr., basically? I mean, having that wide receiver could be a threat, and could be another potential case of what Tyreek Hill is, and what he's done for both quarterbacks essentially, and he's helped out each organization he's been in. Honestly, it's hard to say because I don't know what's going to happen with the Giants and what they're planning to do. I would prefer the Giants to drop, if they can drop Jones. If they can trade him, that would be great if they can trade him for a team that was willing to pick up his contract. But in reality is that's not going to happen. So it's going to be sucky. I mean, honestly, if they could trade him for maybe a 5th round pick or a couple of 5th round picks, that'd be great. What team needs a quarterback? It's hard to say. You know what? It's possible maybe the Patriots could use that quarterback. I mean, they want a quarterback of now versus developing another quarterback, and they are in rebuilding mode. Let's not forget that they are in rebuilding mode. So the question comes down to is, should the Giants trade Daniel Jones? I would say yes. I mean, if you've seen my channel, seen my videos, I've always been on Daniel Jones's case, and honestly, I will always be on his case until he proves otherwise. And people are gonna say, well, what about last season? Let's not forget, Dable came in last season, and I think he was able to maximize the potential out of him to get what he needed out of him, basically, to the point where now, the current season, basically, teams are aware of what was going on with them, and not aware what was going on with them, but they were aware of him, that they knew what to do at that point, and Dable had no answer, unfortunately, for it, because Jones is just a one-trick pony, quite honestly, and let's not forget, just because he got to the semifinals, it wasn't a case where he beat a great team. Honestly, it was a horrendous team, like the Minnesota Vikings. The way they beat out the Vikings was just by pure luck. I mean, honestly, not pure luck, but more so that Dable knew how to exploit a lot of Minnesota's weaknesses. When it came to the Philadelphia Eagles, they ripped the Giants apart, and they knew how to go after Daniel Jones, and it showed otherwise. So I think that was basically what it was, and it showed it showed for me. Now, when it comes to the other spectrum of things, the NBA MVP, I was watching Tuesday's First Take, and it's still going on a little bit as well too. What Stephen A's top 5 list would be for this year. LeBron's farewell, Clippers potentially going to the finals and maybe winning the finals, depending if they beat the Celtics. But the other one is basically this year it's potentially, I hate to say this, but from Stephen A's perspective, that it was Jason Tatum's year to become an NBA MVP of this year. I'm saying no, and here's the reason why it's a no. It's more so because the fact is he's got too much talent surrounded by him that if he were to be injured for, let's say, a month, the Celtics would still be in first place. They would still be ahead of the pack of everyone else. I think they'd be doing really well. Joel Embiid showed that without him, the 76ers are pretty much nothing without him. And it's showing right now as we speak because of his injury. It's showing. I mean, with him, they were like the top four team, basically. They were a fourth or third team at best. Maybe even a second seed, quite honestly. But because of his injury, it shows. And, Philadelphia is slowly withering away. They'll probably get into the playoff contention or playing in tournament, or two possibly out of the possibly out and potential draft pick. So that shows how crucial he is to the 76ers. Similarly, Jokic gets injured. I don't think Denver's staying where they're at, basically, and it shows. Basically, without Jokic, they don't win that finals. But let's not forget, to him being the Batman, there is his Robin, basically. And so it was one of those things where Murray basically helped him out in that situation. Tatum, I think they just have too much talent on their team that, unfortunately, because of it, I think he's going to be penalized for it, because the fact is, with these players there, it's going to be hard to justify him being an NBA MVP. He could definitely bring the Celtics to the finals. Yes. Can they win the finals? Chances are most likely he will, because why? The most likely team that they're going to be playing is the Clippers, because Kawhi Leonard, Westbrook, as well as Harden, they're all clicking now all of a sudden, and they're clicking at the right time that they can potentially they're the favorites to be going to unless there's some injury, barring an injury, they're the favorites to go to the NBA Finals as well too. And the question is between them and the Celtics, who wins? It's a tough one to say, because we saw what Kawhi did when the Raptors went into the finals and how they beat the Golden State Warriors. I would say, with the fact that he has PG and Harden and Westbrook on his team, he's not going to be an MVP this season as well too. But they have that ability to beat the Celtics in the finals. Let's be honest. I think they're the ones that are most likely going to want to beat them in the finals. But I'll tell you that on the MVP front for the NBA, it's possibly going to be outside of Tatum. Most likely Jokic. He's probably going to get another one again. Maybe another one this year. If not him, it's hard to say now. Maybe Donovan Mitchell. I mean, without him, the Cleveland Cavaliers aren't where they're at right now, honestly. And I just say this, but I wish the Knicks had made trade those draft picks for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell with Brunson. Let's say they were able to trade for OG. I mean, honestly, they would have been an unstoppable team. The question is, though, is with the draft picks, they probably would have wanted Jared as well too. But barring Jared going to, let's say, Utah and Donovan coming on board, I mean, honestly, I think the Raptors were really looking for a draft pick as well as quickly. I think they really wanted quickly. That was really what they were looking for, and I think the Knicks could have traded quickly with the draft pick or swapped some draft picks for OG, and the Knicks would have done really well. And with that and Randall, I mean, who knows where the Knicks would be right now? They probably would definitely be in a conference final contenders, not making to the finals themselves, but conference finals possibly with Donovan Mitchell. Without him, right now it is, until OG comes back, as well as Robinson and, of course, Randall. It'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out and how well the Knicks can go with that. I mean, with OG back, I think OG and Brunson, I think that brings them past the second round at least. But it's only time will tell. We'll have to see what happens with that. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of course, unrehearsed.